Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, Maria, for having us. It's so amazing to be here, and you make that possible. Thank you. I am Amy Shoulder. I am editorial director of the Feminist Press. We have a lot of people from the press here tonight, and I would love it if our staff and board members would stand up and be recognized as part of this amazing team that put this book together. Yesterday, I got a message from Katya, who's the Pussy Riot member who was released from prison. She's aware of the book. She's so excited that it's out and that we're supporting Pussy Riot through the publication of it and through amplifying what they really have to say, what the meaning is behind their performance. And she sent this message to be read tonight. Greetings to everyone who is gathered here tonight. Despite the distance that separates us, we feel your support and are immensely thankful for that. Freedom for Masha Alyokhina and Nadezhda Tolokonnikova, freedom for feminists, freedom for self-expression, and big exclamation points all around. So, you know, working on this book for the last few months, it's been so interesting to talk to journalists from Brooklyn to Moscow and have conversations about Pussy Riot, and the same topic comes up, where so many people say, well, I'm really always for someone speaking out against oppression, and I'm always for speaking out against fundamentalism and freedom of expression, but, you know, was this really appropriate? You know, being in a, you know, making a performance in a church, was this really the right time and place to make that statement? And what I've realized, you know, over time and confronting that kind of comment and question is, yes, this is the way social change happens. It's really, you know, it's never about power just ceding to justice because of some higher consciousness or because somebody did something appropriately. It's always about people finally being willing to act out, to be inappropriate, to stand up when they're not supposed to. And I think that's why it's so important that we're supporting Pussy Riot, and by buying the book, we support them in material ways and understand their message more deeply, and that we think about how each of us stands up and is inappropriate as often as possible. And tonight, joining me is some of the my favorite artists and writers who are famously inappropriate and speak out of turn, and I'm so grateful for them being part of this project and being part of this book. So I'd love for them to come on up and join me here and start our program. So we're going to do a little brief enactment of the courtroom, because we have in our book a piece of the transcript from the trial to give you a little sense of what the Pussy Riot members were up against in court. So I just want to invite our artists to come, maybe stand in front of the table and share microphones, and I will introduce at the far end Barbara Browning. In front, yes, and next to her is Elizabeth Koch, our publicist from Feminist Press, and in the orange is Vivien Goldman and Laurie Weeks, Eileen Myles. This is Xenia Grubstein, who is a producer of the new documentary I'm sure you've heard of called Pussy Riot, A Punk Prayer that just premiered at Sundance, and Johanna Fateman. I'm sorry to say that Vivian Bond is unable to join us, has a terrible flu, but sends her greetings. So, without further ado,
Excerpts from the court transcript, day 1. Candle seller Lyubov Sokologorskaya takes the stand first. She tells the court that she tried to follow the women as they headed for the altar, but was stopped in her tracks by God. This was when the women dropped their backpacks and began to engage in the devil's twitchings. A woman is forbidden to be on the soleas, the candle seller explained, unless she is married and is standing next to her husband. She says she feared the women would enter the altar or get naked. She continues.
They had dresses that bared their shoulders and were very bright in color and very contrasting. And they had hats of different colors too, and their tights were different colors. This was blasphemy, sacrilege, and an insult to my feelings and my faith and my ideals, and a defilement of my personage and my life choice. The pain has not let up.
Defense attorney, did you seek psychological or psychiatric help for your suffering?
I am an Orthodox believer. The healing energy of the Holy Ghost is 1,000,000 times stronger than any psychologist.
Did the healing energy of the Holy Ghost relieve your moral suffering then?
Judge disallows the question.
Is feminist a swear word?
It is if it's said in church.
Day 2, testimony of witness Vasily Siganyuk, altar warden.
Those who are possessed can exhibit different behaviors. They can scream, beat their heads against the floor, jump up and down.
Do they dance?
Well, no.
Stop questioning him about those who are possessed. Siganyuk is not a medical professional and is not qualified to render a diagnosis.
Testimony of witness Pavel Jelezov, altar warden. Witness describes trying to restrain the women. He says one of them broke free and began crossing herself.
Did she cross herself the way all citizens do?
I don't remember exactly, but in essence it was a parody of crossing herself, a satire. People should cross themselves with piety, and without rushing, she crossed herself kind of rapidly. This was not the sort of cross with which Orthodox Christians should bless themselves. I did not even watch the clip to the end because it was filthy. But I noticed something. I used to sing in the choir, and I noticed that their song resembled church music. In other words, this was a parody of a church service, and this is insulting.
Testimony of witness Sergei Belaglazov, a security guard at the cathedral.
I was traumatized and have been able to work for 2 months as a result. Personally, I forgive them, but as far as God and the other faithful are concerned, I cannot make that decision. It is up to God and the court.
Do you find the word feminist insulting?
I do. For an Orthodox believer, it is an insult, an obscenity.
Do you know what the word feminist means?
Judge disallows the question.
So, thank you. So I think we'll all take our seats and begin a short reading from the book with Eileen Myles.
Hello? What? Oh, really? It's like, this is part of the raucous, irreverent approach to public presentation. I'm going to do two things, which is that I'm going to read my piece, and then I'm going to read Masha's poems. I think I ought to read my piece first. And I need to process it with you guys. Okay. Dear Pussy Riot, I'm a fan and co-conspirator in regards to all meanings of your performance, which has created so much importance